6.3, age problems. This is a tricky section because it involves a lot of heavy-duty word problems that you have to translate into algebra. You'll find algebra is a much better approach than guess and check because you get to the answer faster. And it's the way I would expect you to do each of these problems. So you have a bunch of them in this section. I'm going to give you 2 examples in this video. I think you can all do it, but it takes a little bit of practice and it takes a little bit of extra effort probably on your part. So there's a 4-step process I've outlined above. It says first, I'm going to talk through it and then I'm going to show you how it's used in the example. First, you're going to draw a chart and label in chronological order. Chronological order would be in the order that time happens. So the past would be in the early parts, the now would be in the middle part, and the later would be in the later part. Second, you're going to use one entry clue from the problem to complete the chart. So you're going to fill in the whole chart. Third, you're going to write an equation using information from the problem. You're going to solve it. A lot happens in that step. Fourth, you're going to answer your question in a complete sentence. So I'm going to start example 1 on this page, and then I'm going to continue it on the second page. So example 1 reads, 2 years ago, I was 3 times Aaron's age, but in 3 years, I'll only be twice as old as he is. How old am I, and how old is Aaron? So we're going to begin by drawing our chart. It's talking about 2 people, so I have 2 rows, and I'm going to label each row by the person I'm talking about. Me and Aaron. Okay, on the top, I'm going to label the time, so I need to think about what this clue says here, the label in chronological order. I'm talking about 2 things, 2 years ago and in 3 years. Okay, so 2 years ago is the past, 2 years ago. And 3 years ago is in the future, 3 years from now. So in the middle, we always need to include on our chart whatever the now is, because that's also implied in the question. How old am I? How old is Aaron? That's asking how old are they now? So that's an important piece for what's coming up. Okay, so that's important part. So that's number 1. So we can check that off. Okay, number 2, use one entry clue from the problem to complete the chart. Okay, so I did use 2 years ago, but let's look at the rest of what this is saying, and I'm going to highlight it. 2 years ago, I was 3 times Aaron's age. So that's the one clue I'm going to use from the problem. And I'm going to stick to one clue, and I usually pick the first one, unless it really doesn't make sense to do that. So it says 2 years ago, so I'm talking about this column right here. 2 years ago, I was 3 times Aaron's age. Okay, so I was 3 times Aaron's age. Well, 3 times looks like this. We're talking about me. I'm 3 times Aaron's age, but I don't know what Aaron's age is. So guess what? If you don't know something, you call it a variable. So if Aaron is X, then I am 3 times Aaron's age, or 3X. Okay, so I used one entry clue from the problem to complete the chart. Well, I haven't completed the chart, but I have only used one clue from the problem. So now let's look at what else we have in the chart that we can figure out. If that was 2 years ago, then what is now? Oh, it's just going to be adding 2. So that means I've got 3x plus 2. What is Aaron going to be? X plus 2. Okay, it's just adding 2 to whatever you had there. 3 years from now, well, that's going to be 3 more. So you have 3x plus 2 plus 3 more. That's going to give me 3x plus 5. And down below here is going to give me x plus 2 plus 3 more, which is also 5. So that's how you're going to start this problem. Okay? That's how you complete the chart. Now we've got step 3, which is write an equation using information from the problem and solve. Answer the question in a complete sentence. Well, let's move on to the next page. Okay, here's my chart again. Remember, here's me, here's Aaron, here's 2 years ago, here's now, and here's 3 years future. Okay, remember we said 2 years ago I was 3 times Aaron's age. So me, I'm 3x, Aaron was x. Now was 2 years later, so you add 2. X you add 2. And 3 years future is going to be 3 more from that, so it's 3x plus 5 and x plus 5. So now I'm going to write an equation and solve. So I already used this first piece of information, but I have not used this next piece of information where it says, in 3 years, I'll only be twice as old as he is. Okay, so I haven't used that yet. So how can I use that? Well, I'm going to use that part to write my equation. So in 3 years, now I'm talking about this column right here, in 3 years. I'll be, so that's me, I'm this. So I will be, so I am 3x plus 5. Will be is my verb, which means equals in math. So you're basically translating. That translates to this. Will be translates to this. Now it says twice as old as he is. Twice, what does that mean? 2 times. Okay. As old as he is. As old as Aaron is. Okay, well, how old is Aaron? He is, Aaron, 3 years in the future is x plus 5. So I write x plus 5. And because that's an expression and not just one thing, I need to include parentheses. So I wrote my equation, which is actually a very difficult step. Completing the chart is a big step. Writing the equation is a big step. So now I got to solve it. So I've got 3x plus 5 equals 2 times x plus 5. So I leave 3x plus 5. And I have to distribute here, so I get 2x plus 10. And then I subtract 2x from both sides. And I get x plus 5 equals 10 because this canceled. I subtract 5, and I get x equals 5. Am I done? No, I've just completed 3. Now I've got to do 4. Answer in a complete sentence. So what is it asking? So I'm not interested in this anymore. Now I'm interested in the question. So what does the question say? How old am I? How old is Aaron? How old am I? How old is Aaron? So now I'm going to write this in a complete sentence. I am, Aaron is. Well, I don't know the answer yet. I've got x equals 5. So where's x? X is right here. X is 5. And actually, that doesn't answer my question because that's how old Aaron was 2 years ago. So how old is Aaron now? He's 5 plus 2. He's 7. How old was I? Back here, I was 15. Now I am 17. Ooh, nice. I'm 17. So I am 17 years old. Aaron is 7 years old. Now I can circle my answer and I'm done. I've done all 4 steps. Okay, one more question to do. Totally new question here. Example 2. A mother is 28 years older than her daughter. In 8 years, the mother will be 3 times as old as her daughter. How old is each now? So I draw a chart. Okay, I complete the chart. So now I'm going to do 1 and 2 together. Who am I talking about? A mother and her daughter. Okay, what am I talking about? In 8 years, so that's in 8 years. A mother is, okay, great. So I'm talking about now, and I'm talking about in 8 years. So this column is not applicable. So if I were drawing this in my notebook, I wouldn't even draw that column. But it's nice to know that if you do, you just cross it out. Okay, so I drew the chart. Now I'm completing the chart. A mother is 28 years older than her daughter. So that implies right now. So a mother is 28 years older than her daughter. So that means that, well, I don't know what her daughter is, so I'm going to make her daughter X. And so I say X plus 28, because that means 28 years older, right? Right. Now I use the chart to fill it in. What am I going to be in 8 years? The mother is going to be in 8 years X plus 28 plus 8 more, which means X plus 36. Well, the daughter in 8 years is going to be x plus 8. Okay, I've completed the chart. Now I need to write an equation. So I'm going to use a different piece of information to do that. I'm going to use this. In 8 years, the mother will be 3 times as old as her daughter. So I'm going to use this column here to write my equation because it's referring to in 8 years. So I'm writing an equation. In 8 years, the mother, so the mother is x plus 36, will be equals 3 times as old as her daughter. Her daughter's x plus 8. Don't forget to use parentheses. Great, now I have to solve. So I have x plus 36 equals 3x plus 24. Subtract x. 36 equals 2x plus 24. Subtract 24. 12 equals 2x. X equals 6. Okay, am I done? No, because I need to answer in a complete sentence. How old is each now? We'll go back. What does X mean? X means her daughter now is 6. So how old is the mother? 34. So I answer in a complete sentence. Mom is 34 years old. Daughter is 6 years old. Done. You can do this. Ask for help if you need it.